Oh, no.
What? We're live.
I know, but it's not. I just missed the whole. It's not recording.
All right, so let's end it.
If I end it though, I think I have to send everybody a new thing. I think I just screwed up, Suki. You know what? I'll just take it off of Facebook.
Okay.
Or YouTube.
Okay.
That's fine. That's
Okay.
fine.
Hi, everybody. We're live.
Hi. Yeah, we're good. That's fine. We didn't really start yet.
We're good.
We're up. I don't. Yeah. See if I hit end broadcast. We'll let everybody load up. Souk, what's going on? What's going on,
Pumpkin?
baby?
What's going on? We're good. So much going on in the world, in our little lives. Yeah, all good. All good.
Everybody good. We'll let everybody load up. We got a great show. David Fishof is here. He is the CEO and founder of the Rock and Roll Fantasy Camp. It's all part of my rock and roll fantasy. Suki. Here come the jesters one by one.
Can you imagine going to fantasy camp? I can't. I need to hear all the stories, really.
David Fishof happens to know every legendary rock and roll figure you've ever heard of. Roger Daltrey, Slash, Ringo Starr, you name it, he's hung out with them.
And like you,
and most likely in a hot tub.
The Catskills.
Yes, of course. Suki, what Jewish 50-year-old man didn't get his start in the Catskills? You know what I'm saying?
I love it.
Listen, you get bar mitzvahed, and then you go work in the Catskills.
Catskills for the summer.
That was the deal. You're right, for the summer, and if you're in college, you go to winter. Souk, I'll tell you. We'll talk about it after we start the show. But we got David coming up. Pia Toscano is here tonight. She, of course, of American Idol fame.
Yep.
And she is just actually one of the premier singing voices in the country right now. She's been on tour with J-Lo. She tours with David Foster right now. And I saw her on a special the other night, and she is just absolutely fantastic. So if you're ready, we can officially start this program. You ready to rock?
Born ready. Let's do it.
There we go, baby. It's a special pre-Thanksgiving edition, Souk. Here we go. Come on, let's do it now. Where is it? There it is.
The Suki and Scott Show.
This is one of the funnest shows I've ever done.
Lady, when you're with me, I'm smiling.
It's musical. It's magical.
Suki and Scott, that's 7 of hearts. Woo! Exactly.
This is a sexy show.
Someone's getting some action.
Now, these larger-than-life personalities are on an exciting new journey as they bring you the Suki and Scott Show.
You guys nailed it. You're great. You ask great questions. You listen.
I answered you because I have respect for you guys, and it was a question respectfully put.
The Suki and Scott Show is your one-stop destination for humor.
You like De Niro and Cape Fear. Counselor!
Entertainment.
Jesse's girl.
Wonderful.
Can you paint with all the colors of the wind?
And optimism.
You guys have such amazing energy.
Ultraviolet light, it gets in there and it just fights the kung flu, is that right? Okay.
Let's laugh together.
I love him.
The Suki and Scott Show.
That's the best intro for a show I maybe have ever seen.
Really?
Your intro is fantastic.
Here come the jesters, one by one. Your mama's calling and just having fun. You know why, Suki? It's all part of my rock and roll fantasy.
Rock and roll fantasy.
Suki, you know what we need to do? David Fishof's coming up. He's the CEO of the Rock and Roll Fantasy Camp, founder and CEO. Also, a legendary agent, some sports stars, Phil Simms, Mark Bavara. You know those guys from here in New York, the Giants. A lot of sports guys. He hangs out with some of the biggest rock and roll names. Roger Daltrey, Ringo Starr, Slash, Ace Frehley,
Nancy Hart.
The guys from the guys from Kiss. But I got to talk to David about putting together a fantasy camp with Playboy Playmates, where guys like me can just go hang with Playboy Playmates. That's the fantasy camp I need, Souk. But anyway, David's coming up. Can't wait to talk to him. Pia Toscano, Suki. What a night we're having here tonight. Pia Toscano, one of the premier voices in all of America right now. I mean, literally, she almost has that Celine Dion vibe. I mean, just a powerful voice. So Pia's coming up in just a few minutes. David's coming up as well. And just an amazing show. Super. First, let me tell you, just yesterday we started, we have all of our platforms here where we're broadcasting and we're streaming all over the country, right? And still adding on. And starting next week on Monday, we added this station here, right here, KPVM TV in Las Vegas. And it's like another 2.75 million people, Suk. So they're a cool station, Channel 25,
and we're constantly growing.
They were
2.5 million people. Look at that.
They were actually featured, Suki, on an HBO show.
Really?
Some cool local stories that they do. Like I think it was HBO Max, and they did a story on this TV station and how it came to be out in the middle of it's in Pahrump, in the middle of nowhere.
Where?
Pahrump, Suki, Pahrump, Nevada.
Oh.
Yeah, I know. It's like Mel Brooks and Blazing Saddles. Pahrump, right? It's like Mel Brooks and that guy didn't give me a harump. But it's Pahrump. it's Pahrump, Nevada, and it covers Las Vegas. And we start there on Monday. Just sent them some of our finest programs, and we're off and running. So we continue to grow, and I don't know. I think we're reaching like 5 million people a month these days. So it's,
it started with like a COVID dream, and here we are.
It started with you, me.
Nightmare was a COVID dream.
Yeah. You, me, Jerry Springer on a Zoom call, and next thing you know, we got a show.
All right, listen, Thanksgiving is around the corner. We were talking about this, right? So I thought it was kind of interesting that we'd bring up the debate between do you call it dressing or do you call it stuffing? Now, depending on where you live, people call it dressing. Did you know that? Yeah.
What do you mean they call what dressing? Stuffing?
The stuffing, dressing.
No, Suki. Dressing is dressing and stuffing is stuffing.
No, they call it
I don't
dressing.
know what the hell you're talking about. Do you call it dressing?
I call it stuffing, but I'm from New York, so we call it stuffing. But according to dressing is actually cooked outside of the turkey.
Okie
while
dokie.
Stuffing is stuffed in the turkey.
Yeah, I'll tell you what you could stuff in your turkey.
I'm
curious
to know what people. I mean, I always say pass the stuffing, even though it's in a casserole dish. I'm like, can I have the stuffing?
Suki, I call Boston Market. I get whatever I need. I don't even know what you're talking
I'm going to
about.
cook Thanksgiving dinner for you guys one time.
Are you doing Thanksgiving dinner at your house?
Of course. I mean, who doesn't? You.
Really? Well, I did it the last 2 years. The last 2 years we did it during the COVID pandemic, Suki.
All right.
But anyway, listen, before we bring David Fishof in, Suk, I found this just before we came on air because you're a dog lover now.
Oh, my God.
22-year-old Pooch is the oldest living dog, Gino.
Wow.
According to the Guinness Book of Records, he's the oldest living dog. He's 22 years old, Suki. 22 times 7 14. That's Suki. That's over 100 years old.
Wow.
In people years. So he's still going strong.
God bless
and
him.
Gino, look at him. The world's oldest living
dog.
Oldest living dog.
I mean, I want to know what Gino's been eating. You know what I mean? Gino, what have you been eating? Gino, what have you been eating?
Suk, anyway, listen, David Fishof is in the house. He's a New York guy out in L.A., self-made man, if there ever was one. Former, I think he still is a talent agent. We'll talk to him, but
sports agent.
He's a sports agent, and he founded, and he'll tell you how he came up with this idea for Rock and Roll Fantasy Camp.
He's a mesh. We love him.
Which, as you know, guys like us at Rock and Roll Fantasy Camp, everybody who thinks they could play a guitar, the drums, has to go. Right? It's almost like baseball fantasy camp. So let me give you a little taste of the Rock and Roll Fantasy Camp, and then we'll bring David Fishof in on the other side. Take a look.
Artists love to give back. They realize their success is based on the fans. And that's how I came up with the idea of Rock and Roll Fantasy Camp.
It's very easy to forget where you came from.
Once Roger started doing it, it opened up the door. Rock and Roll Fantasy Camp became part of pop culture.
Just like that.
Welcome to Rock and Roll Fantasy Camp.
Okay,
okay, this person can play, this person can kind of play.
You would have a 15-year-old kid playing drums and a dentist on guitar. If this band were a real band, it would be the weirdest band ever, but cool.
A lot of really good players come through.
One guitar player was shredding like a mother, and I'm thinking, what are you? He goes, I'm a doctor. I'm going, wow.
I want every rock star to do what inspires them.
I had to experience it.
If Bob Dylan and Gene Simmons and Jimi Hendrix auditioned for The Voice, you think we'd make it? Oh, it's Valentine. You think we'd make it?
I see you playing, but get with him. He's great, huh?
Paul Stanley, same. Reminded him of Buddy Miles.
Hey, babe, I'm in the middle of a vocal thing. Ready? I'll call you back, okay?
Looking forward to another good bashing of Rock Camp.
I've reconnected with my joy of playing.
Singing for the first time on stage.
It's a very special thing.
That moment.
And for me and for him, it's real.
I can't think of a more fun thing to do. I mean, it's better than stamp collecting.
After midnight.
Better than stamp collecting.
David, how are you, my friend?
Wow. Say hi, both of you guys. Hi. It's so exciting to be on your show.
What's going on?
And I love your intro. I think it's amazing, and I love the mood. I'm in such a happy mood now. I'm so excited.
I love it, David.
Scott, you missed the Playboy Mansion. I did 2 camps there.
Oh, damn you, David.
Yeah, you had an opportunity to play live at the final night at the Mansion. I rented it twice. It was unbelievable. It was every 40-year-old, 50-year-old guy going to his wife said, I got a gig at the Playboy Mansion. I got to do this camp.
Yeah, but Dave, you know what? Listen,
the biggest thing was the wives wanted to come. They all women wanted to watch that show. Kevin Burns, the guy who produced it, the late Kevin Burns, said that 70% of the people watched that Playboy show with Hef and the 3 ladies. He said it was 70% women that would watch that show.
Yeah. Girls Next Door, right? Wasn't that the name of the show?
It was amazing.
Dave, Suki will tell you, listen, to my credit, I knocked out the Playboy Mansion when I was 12 years old, my friend.
His dad took him to the Playboy Club in New York City. You remember that, David? Remember that back in the day?
Sure. I remember going the opening night. I was writing for the Jewish press, and they invited me. They were so desperate to have publicity come over. None of my readers would ever have gone there. But I gotta tell you, doing the Mansion was just incredible for people to sign up and play. And Paul Stanley, and I had Steven Tyler there, and
wow,
that was a fantasy. I said, not going to have to happen. It was.
It's the pantheon of rock and roll.
69 camps later.
Unreal. Well, Dave, listen, man, I want to talk to you about the fantasy camp and the talent agency stuff. But we were talking about this off the air. You got your start doing this type of stuff in the Catskills in New York, right?
I heard your introduction, and you said it right. Every kid got bar mitzvahed, and then we were sent to the Catskills, whether it was camp or to work in the hotel.
Yeah.
And we all got an education up there. It was unbelievable. I wish my kids could get that education, but being a waiter in the Catskills and I was a T-boy and I did everything up there. It was just a great hang, and it was a great place to get discipline and make some money.
Absolutely. Oh my God, the cash was flowing up there. And,
cash was flowing, right?
Yeah.
When I was a waiter, I would feed my people. They would come in Sunday and then they would leave Sunday, and I would just feed them. I just kept feeding them. Because I figured the more I got them fat, the bigger tip I'll get. And I love it. I remember I almost got fired because the owner of the hotel said, "Why are you selling the food to my people?" I said, "I'm going to, they're ordering." And they used to order up there. Suki, it was really different up there because people would get 3 meals a day.
3, yeah.
Complete meals. Unlimited food. Now, at 10:30 at night, you were invited to come see a show, a singer and a comedian.
A comedian, yeah. I remember that.
Comedians, they got to be the best comics in show business. Why? Because no one paid for the show. The people were stuffed, and they were afraid to laugh. Because they knew if they laughed, all the food would come out. So the comedians had to keep them funny and to get the audience to laugh. So They had a guy like Larry Best. Scott, do you remember Larry Best? He'd come out.
I remember all those names.
and
Yeah.
Larry Best would say, "It's a pleasure to be at my favorite hotel," and he would look at the thing. Oh, the Pines Hotel.
Right. Yeah, it's great to be back here at the Pines Hotel, the Concord.
Hotel. Look at the sign. And then you remember he came out and he said, I have to apologize. I had dental surgery today. And so, I might not be feeling that well. All of a sudden, about 5 chiclets would come out of his mouth. And I mean, this is the word shtick from the
shtick.
Shtick came from the Catskills. And these guys had to create stuff, the materials to keep those audience laughing at 11 o'clock at night because those people were stuffed. And they used to sit back, the people in the audience, and say, "Okay, I dare you to entertain me. I dare you to make me laugh."
Right.
Unlike you go to a comedy club, they say a 4-letter word and the place bursts out.
Right. Oh
it
my
was
God.
really hard to entertain, but and everything out there, from the Catskills, we learned, and it was just. It was, and they used to have the NBA players, used to be bellops up there.
No, it was just an education, right? Like going out there and working and mingling with the people, like figuring what made people happy, how people ticked. It was like, how I always tell my son, you got to walk in and you got to read a room. You got to be able to read the room, read the people, read. They have no idea how to do anything anymore. Look at somebody's face and be like, that man's upset. What do you think?
Social media killed it. But I want to tell you that I didn't realize, I realized I was a busboy one summer. The waiter that I was working for, he became the CEO of NetJet.
NetJet,
Yeah, these guys who were waiters up there, the guys I worked with, they went on to become doctors and lawyers, and it's
crazy.
It was a great education up there, and they helped, and like my brother said to me, I said, "How did you afford to go to, university?" Our parents had no money, and they didn't, he said, "David, I worked in the Catskills and I paid my own college education."
That's it, man. That's it. And Dave, listen, so, all of a sudden, you're doing this rock and roll fantasy camp, right? And you and listen, when people pay to come to rock and roll fantasy camp, they're hanging out with rock and roll, royalty here. And guys, you've become friendly with these guys. I mean, look at that Daltrey and Slash. That's got to be unbelievable for you hanging out with Alice Cooper.
Oh wow, you got all my pictures here. Yeah, no, the Rockers have been amazing, and I think the film. I'm so glad you showed the trailer because the film has really been doing great. It's over 90% Rotten Tomatoes, and I say it because the fellow who finished the film and he edited and wrote and produced it was Doug Blush, who did 20 Feet from Stardom. He got an Academy Award for that film. He did that one about drugs in Russia, the doping. That was a big hit on Netflix.
Dope Sick?
Icarus.
Oh, Icarus. Okay, yeah.
And then he did that, and then he also did Period. He did that film Period, and so he won. He won some great Academy Awards and some great awards for those shows. You won't believe it, but my TV just went on.
I was going to say, you take him for a walk?
Well, I know. I thought he was going to show us memorabilia.
No, I could show you that too. I have some great stuff around my house. My whole office is just, it's my man cave. So the only place
stay in the light, Dave. Stay in the light.
Yeah, it's the only place I get respect in the house of my man cave.
Smoking like a true man.
Yeah, I think the funniest thing to me is, these rock stars. Someone said to me, they asked, "Why does Ringo tour?" And I said that when he's on the road, he's a Beatle. When he's home, he's a schmuck.
Right.
His wife tells him you got to throw out the trash. Yeah,
you're a legend on the road. So, Dave, at fantasy camp, somebody lays down the money. What can they expect when they get there? What happens?
Like an amazing experience. They go through 4 days of a boot camp. I think they really get the experience of really jamming with these superstars who are basically there to give back. They're there to this is like, ask Jeff Beck, how come you did my camp? And he said, David, I wanted to give back to all these musicians. They also, what's great about camp is that, it's not like a meet and greet. They hang out there and they stay and they want to really teach these people, give them the experience. So you had a guy from Pink Floyd, the drummer. Who's the drummer of Pink Floyd? I'm losing it today. Anyways, he stayed for 4 days, and because he wanted to have he just loved doing it. And Roger Daltrey stayed for 3 days, and so many of them have come and just. My next camp was Led Zeppelin. I'm doing a Zeppelin genre, a Zeppelin camp with
Nick Mason. Was that the
Yeah,
drummer
Nick
from
Mason.
And then he wrote an article about GQ. But my next camp coming up is with Soundgarden with God, my brain today because I'm just jet lagged from coming home. But the lead guitar player in Soundgarden, Kim Thale.
Mm-hmm.
I asked Kim Thale to come last camp about a year and a half ago, and we would jam for 3-4 hours. And with these campers, and he stayed for 3 days.
Wow!
And he hung out with them. So this time he could, it's really amazing. The rock stars that have come to camp, it's been amazing, and they're giving, and it reminds them what it was like when they first started.
Well,
so
look at you, Ace Frehley right there. Look at that.
Ace just did my camp last time. He remembered every appearance he did at camp. He jammed Roger. I mean, to see these people give back, and then just to see them, Roger said it best. He wanted to relate. It reminds me what it was like when he first started. And I think that's the great thing about camp.
And you know what's so great is that, like, I think Gene Simmons in the clip was saying, like, you think if there was an American Idol, like, any of us would have made it? No. We wouldn't have made it at all.
I mean, that Pia is a great singer. I've heard her, and I know she's on the show.
Oh, yeah. Oof.
And she had a tough go at American Idol.
Because, they don't realize that it's all about the song. And, there's a lot of great voices out there, but I think during COVID, what I see you guys also talked about the benefits of COVID. You guys got your show together. Well, I did 160 master classes.
Wow.
With
online. You're right, online. Yeah,
online. And I basically did a split with the artists. I said I'll charge, and we'll charge you. People can meet you and ask questions. It was amazing. Every night I had a different star on, and a band. I had Styx. I had Joe Elliott from. Joe Perry and so many of them. They did it, and because many of these people didn't think they were going to perform again, so they were open to doing this Q&A. And I'll tell you 2 things that I learned of the 160 classes. Number one, it's the passion that they all have. Every one of these artists, they made it. Managers, songwriters, it's passion. And then Alice Cooper said it's all about the song. All about the song.
Yeah. And I listen. It's got to if you're someone who just dabbles in an instrument, guitar, drums, whatever it is.
If you're a beginner.
You show up at this camp and you're playing with Roger Daltrey. That's going to be the best day of your life.
The best day, and you're coming prepared. You're going to be, today with Zoom. Once you sign up for camp, we give you songs to start practicing. People start practicing because they're paying money for it, and then they get together with their bands on Zoom. They decide the songs.
Wow.
The counselors are incredible. I had Jimmy Vivino from the Conan O'Brien show.
Conan O'Brien show, yeah.
4 days. I had Bumblefoot, the great guitar player who played in Guns N' Roses.
Huh.
Vinny Appice, Tony Franklin from The Firm, and it was just amazing. And these people give themselves the 4 days, and they walk away. And as you see in the film, they walk away feeling this is amazing. They want to give back. So
what have you learned from all these guys? What have you learned the most? What have you learned the most out of putting this all together?
Look, I love that's a great question. It inspired me to write a book 10 years ago called Rock Your Business. I took everything that I learned, and I keep learning from these people, these rock stars. Let me ask you, how many of these products that you look at 50 years ago are still around today?
True.
Yeah.
None. Very little. But these rock bands are hotter than ever. Aerosmith, the Beatles, Kiss.
Bigger than ever. It's wild.
And you can learn a lot from their. I learned a lot of business acumen from them. I learned how to keep the energy and the I guess keeping your brand up and watching the way they keep doing it. And so I learned a lot. You can learn a lot from them. They're very smart. These rock stars, especially the ones that today are alive. Many of them feel like, we got screwed in the 60s, but it'll never happen again, or the 70s.
Right.
And I don't think they got screwed as much as I don't think that the lawyers and the managers had the knowledge of what's going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
So whoever knew when a guy came to me and said, would you buy my song Cherish? David, I'll give you $25,000.
Yeah.
And I said, I don't know what's that's going to be worth. Well, today it's worth $1 million. Who knew what the price of songs were going to be. I didn't know.
Yeah. Wait, is that Cool in the Gang?
Cool in the Gang, Cherish the Love
No,
We've Had?
Cherish by association. The association.
Oh, by the association. I went right to Cool in the Gang.
Cool in the Gang. But I don't think any of these artists knew the value of money, and they sold their publishing and
the publishing rights.
I
mean, you've heard them all talk about it and really counsel all the young musicians, like, don't sell your rights. I mean,
that's what's great about camp. I mean, Gene Simmons said, he said, I wish there was this camp 40 years ago when we started, that we could really ask people about about question. Here you got, at this last camp, I had 18 headlining musicians who could really share their knowledge. And so it's really fun. It's really fun. And I'll tell you, for me, I love it that I change people's lives through music. And that's really what I love. I love that doing more than that.
And it's also keeping the rock and roll legacy alive for the next generation, because quite frankly, my kids, they listen to 70s music because of me, because I have it playing around, but they wouldn't curate it necessarily on their own. You know what I mean? But it's so amazing when they come up with it. Yeah.
At the Aerosmith camp, I mean, half of them were kids I said they got it from their parents, and even at the shows. The best line I heard was Bill Medley said to me one day, he says, David, he says, in the 60s, 70s, we took all the notes. How many there's do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do. How many, he said, we created the best songs then. And today, people sample and they copy and everything like that. But
yeah. Dave, we have Mickey Dolenz is coming on soon, because he's going to be playing in the New York area pretty soon. But you worked with the Monkees.
So the Monkees, that was really right. That was the big step. I had the same year the Super Bowl Giants and everything like that. But music, I was able to do the Monkees. I saw Mickey recently. I decided I want to take my kids on a cruise to see the Beach Boys and the Monkees.
Right.
I wanted, like Suki said, I wanted to show them the music, and I wanted them to see it. And it was so funny because the Beach Boys, they did the same exact show on these cruises. They do one show after another. The next night, it's the same, the same joke, the same line.
We're all there.
My kids noticed it. My kids, that's the same show we just saw. But it was great, and and Mickey, God bless him, he keeps rolling on this Monkees, and one day, Scott, they deserve to go to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
Oh, absolutely. Listen, when you look at some of the people that they're putting into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, I mean, listen, first of all, they should just change it to the Music Hall of Fame, number one, because not all the groups, as we just saw the airing on HBO Friday, not everybody's rock and roll. Dolly Parton included, who went in, the past month.
And she didn't even want it. She said,
she didn't even want it.
Country. She goes, I'm country, yeah.
She wrote a rock song just so she could play it. But, and the Monkees, because I was very good friends with Don Kirshner, who, as you know, who developed the Monkees and started that whole group.
And his son, Ricky, is quite a success.
Well, Ricky used to be my brother-in-law. He was married to my sister. That's why we were close friends.
Oh, okay.
And he's now doing the Academy Awards this spring.
Ricky's got huge.
Ricky's huge. He got the post Will Smith slap awards, so he's taking that over.
Oh, really? That's what he. Oh, wow.
But yeah, Dave, back when I was working at the Pines, the Monkees were playing at the Concord, and I've told Suki this story. Real long story short.
1986.
It was around 84, 85, 86.
No, I remember it was May 9th weekend, 1986. I was there. That's when I launched my tour from there.
I got a great story for you. So the Monkees, so I was at the Pines, and as you know, the Concord Hotel was down the road in Monticello. Yep. There was a hole in the fence that we would sneak into to get into the Concord instead of going through the gates. We snuck in through the fence. And lo and behold, the Monkees are playing softball with some of. Right. Were you playing softball that day with the Monkees?
That's so funny,
Dave. I got to tell you, somehow I ended up with Davy Jones sunglasses, and I ended up walking away with Davy's sunglasses. I think he lent them to me to play center field, and I said I gotta walk away with Davy's sunglasses.
They're gonna be worth money.
No, they're well gone, well lost. I get my glasses at gas stations now, Dave.
I want to tell you, that was incredible. 1986. I would rehearse all my shows in the Catskills. People never heard of the Catskills. But why? Because none of the drug dealers would find their way up there.
Right.
I got to keep them up to the place where they had to eat kashavanishkas, they had to eat gefilte fish. I would change their lives forever.
It was so much fun.
Now, hold on. This is the greatest story. I'm up in the Catskills rehearsing the Monkees. And because I got rooms and food, I would exchange a show, and I'd get the stage during the day to rehearse. Right. No one's using it. I'm up there, and all of a sudden, Bill Graham is up there, the famous promoter. Right. And his partner, who I was doing a merchandise deal with, says, "You got to hang out with Bill. He's up at the Concord." Bill Graham would go to the Concord for 2 weeks every summer. He started in the Catskills. He was a waiter. He was a waiter, and he would go back every summer to eat the pickled herring and hang out with the waiters.
Eat the pickled herring and hang out.
That was his thing, 2 weeks. And the guy Cohen was the maitre d' there, and they were best of friends. And he would hang out there and just eat eat all the good kosher food up there. So I'm sitting at so his partner kept saying, "You got to talk to Bill. He wants to talk to you. We want to make a deal. We want to do your merchandise." He had a company called Winterland. So I went to meet Bill at the bar, and he's gone. He had a couple of drinks in him. So it's a joke. I said to him, "So what do you do for a living? You're Bill Graham." He says, "I'm the Rolling Stones tour manager." I said, "Whoa, Graham." He says, "I know." He says, "I got to go on the road with the Stones. Who else going to tell Mick Jagger get the F on the bus?" And I got to tell you, that was the biggest lesson I learned. I never went on the road with my bands because, I observed Sabbath. I wanted to be home. And while I got one tour on the road, I was working on the next tour. So I was going to produce, after the Monkees, I did Dirty Dancing as a live tour. Then I did Ringo. I never went on the road. Now I'm on tour now. So I go to Ringo after the third show, and I said, "Rich, I'm going home. I'll see you in 2 weeks in Chicago." And he says, "You promised to be with me. And you said, when you signed me, you said, going to be." I said, "I know, but that's Asian talk. I'm not going on the road." He says, "You promised." I remember calling my wife. I said, I'll be home in 8 weeks. And I went on the road with Ringo Starr and the All-Star Band. And I'll tell you something, that grew me up. I grew up that tour.
Dave.
I was going to say, David, how were you able to balance all of that? Like you said, here you are, sex, drugs, rock and roll, and here you are, religious, following your values, what you believe. How were you able to balance both and do it so beautifully?
Well, the great thing was Ringo was as clean as it was clean. And he's a 12-stepper. And which is great. He's promoted about it and talked about how healthy it is. And I got to tell you, he helped all these band members. A lot of these band members were out of control. And especially that first tour that we were on, 5 of them went into rehab afterwards.
Wow.
They were hiding from him. But I had to wake up and be with him at 8 o'clock in the morning to go to the gym. So I never went I never went out to drink. And that wasn't my thing. I'm a foodie. So
so you're at the gym at 5 a.m. working on your body.
No, that's when we about 8, 9, 10 o'clock. We go to the gym. Then we'd go touring around the city. And he wanted to see things, and it was just funny showing up to a shopping mall with him and to a thrift shop with him.
Ringo Starr.
Ringo Starr, and I hear so many stories that people remember meeting us, but so I didn't know what was going on, and they were hiding it all from Ringo because they didn't want him to know. He knew everything. He was sharp, I didn't realize till we got to Japan. That's when I realized that they were all on drugs the whole entire time because they were all sleeping and they couldn't bring the drugs into Japan. And you saw the mood level of everybody go way down, way down.
That's so funny.
But I was high on life, so.
Every once in a while on Sirius, you'll hear, no, I can't take it no more. I'm tired of waking up on the floor. Right?
Yeah. And I tell you the funny thing, the woman and I would have an argument because he wrote a new song, "Don't Go Where the Road Don't Go." And I said to him, "Ringo, you can't close the first half of your show with 'Don't Go Where the Road Don't Go' because because people don't want to hear "Don't Go Where the Road Don't Go." They want to hear "Yellow Submarine."
Yeah,
right.
Drug stuff, and we got to sell merchandise at intermission. So don't end with a song that's positive.
Right.
Don't make people go out. Buy that
Dave,
merch.
listen, Dave, before we go, what's next for the Rock and Roll Fantasy Camp? Are there camps coming up?
Oh, so many camps coming up. A reason I guess you guys booked me is I have a new book out called Rock Camp, and it's a book about the 25-year history that I wrote.
Okay.
And I decided to donate the book to the Rock and Roll Foundation. It's a music foundation that was created by campers who've attended my camps over 25 years and decided we want to give this opportunity to young people. So they should, and these people got together. They formed a nonprofit with my blessings.
It's amazing.
And I said, just, do what you want to do. And I donated the proceeds from the book. And we also, we do fundraising to raise money from the instruments that are signed by the artists at the final night. And people have come together and they sent a camper to the last camp, a young person who was mentored by Chuck Lavelle, and the guy was amazing. Got a standing ovation, this young man. And so they wanted to give back. And I always, for years, we always supported Roger Daltrey, and we still do his Teenage Cancer Trust.
Sure.
And camp is it's really an immersion of 4 days that you put yourself into. And while people get intimidated to come, today you don't have to get intimidated. We have Zoom calls in advance. We really prepare you. And it really is an amazing experience. And for the musician who wants to get better, the vocalist who wants to get better, and you meet incredible people, and it's a magical experience. It really is magic. And while the film is great and the book will be, I think you'll enjoy the book. It's on Amazon and Barnes and Noble. I think what you'll enjoy most is being in a camp live and really seeing that experience. It's really it's not a layup, but you walk away, and you know what happens. They walk away with such a high that they have to go back to their daily jobs.
Oh, I can imagine.
Oh man, I don't want to go home. When they come home.
Dave, do you realize what it was like for me to go back to 6th grade after a day at the Playboy Hotel? I couldn't sleep for weeks, Dave. I can't imagine what it's like at your fantasy camp.
That is a funny picture. It's so funny because the Playboy mate that was on our show was at our camp, and she's now on the she's on the Selling Sunset. Her name is Heather. Heather was the Playboy.
Oh, Heather on Selling Sunset.
Yes, she was. She said, I'm on television.
Oh, she says hello.
Don't worry about
it. My daughter couldn't care less who I am. You're just my dad. Get in the house for dinner.
Yeah, get the garbage out.
I got more time. Trust me.
I love it.
Thanks, Dave.
You guys are fun.
Thank you, my friend. This was listen, we could talk to you all night, but I got Pia Toscano coming up, Dave.
He's way better looking than me.
Listen, man, I'd love to have you come back. You are an absolute joy to talk to.
I have so many funny stories to share with you.
Love it.
Love to do it.
I love it. We'll do it. Can we do it? We'll do a part 2.
Definitely do a part 2. And
all right, my man.
Thank you for pushing my book and my movie.
Thank you, David. We can find it at Amazon, right?
Amazon. Yep.
And listen, if you want to call Roger Daltrey when you're on, or you want to call, Ringo, we get him on the show. That's fine. I don't mind.
Ringo.
Hello, Ringo.
Ringo.
Dave, thank you, my friend. Continued success. How can people, the fantasy camps, if they want to sign up, where do they go?
Go to rockcamp.com. I have a new one coming up. I have a women's only. And I do women's only camps. I got Winona Judd and Lizzie Hale from Hellstorm. And Miss Peterson from the Bengals. Yeah, in Nashville in January. Women only.
Nashville.
There you go, Sue. My favorite city.
I did it with Heart, Nancy Wilson from Heart, and
amazing.
Etheridge. It was unbelievable. And then I did, and then in March I'm doing a Zeppelin camp with Kim Thale from Soundgarden.
Wow.
So yeah, no, Kim's great. Thank you.
David, thank you so much. But you ever want to, Dave? You ever want to take on this show in your agency and be our agent? You're welcome, my friend.
I can make you guys an unknown.
You have You have carte blanche.
I stopped managing people. Those days are gone. I'm gonna manage myself.
I love it. Dave, enjoy the holidays, buddy. Happy Thanksgiving.
Good luck on your expansion of the show.
Thanks,
Thank
sir.
you, bud.
Thank you so much.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye,
Take
David.
care. Sue, great stories.
What a great man. What a great man. What great stories.
I love him. He's funny. Hold on. Let me just switch us back. Let me switch us back to the screen. There we are. Sook, so once again, that would have been enough if it was just David on the show. So the other day, I'm in bed and I'm flipping through the channels as I often do. And I came up, I don't even know what channel it was. It was one of those offbeat cable channels. Mm-hmm. And I come across an intimate evening with David Foster.
Sure. So, of course, you stopped and you wanted
right.
to
I stuck. Oh, my God. I looked. I see. And Catherine McPhee was on the stage. She was singing. She finished. He starts doing this bit where he's talking to the audience and he's doing songs from Chicago that he did with Peter Cetera. And he's got the lyrics up on behind him and the audience is singing. And it was really, really cool. And then I see our girl Shalea come out, and I remember Shalea used to sing. She told us how she was always singing with David Foster. Yeah. And then I see Pia Toscano, and I'm like, oh my God, Pia's got an insane voice. I remember her from American Idol. I remember Sharon Olsen was telling me we were going to get Pia on the show.
We got to get Pia on the show.
I said, hey, we got to get Pia. I'm watching her on right now. And then they all come out and sing, and Shalea's there. Do you remember when I got about 8 seconds of Shalea because I think she sang a Whitney Houston.
She sang a Whitney Houston song for us, yeah.
Right, but she sang for David. I think she sang.
She was singing this for David Foster, I believe.
Right, she sang for David Foster. So listen to how great she sounded on the show, if you remember. Wow.
The greatest love of all. To achieve.
Whoa!
Remember that? But
she hit that note, and I was like,
"Oh my God!" It's like just in her house, in her apartment.
Yeah.
But I think on the David Foster special, she sang. What was the other big? "I'll Always Love You." I think she sang that one. Which was, she sound. I texted my wife. I'm like, you got to put on channel 581. She sounded incredible. So anyway, it just reminded we got to get Pia on the show. And Sook, I got to tell you, like the Stockholm syndrome when people hold you hostage and you end up falling in love with your captor. I've been looking at Pia Toscano videos all day.
Fell in love.
And now I'm in love with her, Sook. I'll tell
her husband. I'll tell her husband.
Yeah, tell her husband. Suki, the cover of her new album, she's got a new album out called I'm Good.
I'm Good.
And Suki, never have I seen a better singular leg in all of recording. But anyway, here she is. She's got so many great new songs out. She does other song covers. She does cover Soup that are unbelievable, better than the originals. So here she is, Pia Toscano, and then we bring her in on the other side. Take a look.
What if every time we dance, I let you leave? What if every time I'm sick, you let me breathe? We wouldn't be searching for another dream. Instead of breaking us time and time again. What if we were just like each other? What if we try a little bit harder? We keep waiting for the end to change, like the desert waiting for the rain. What if we will never be? 'Cause you are you and I am me, the same me you once loved.
There she is, ladies and gentlemen.
Hello.
And if you couldn't tell, that song is called What If, off that new album. Pia, thank you so much for coming on. And Sharon Olsen just texted me, and she said, if you remember, we had Pia booked. You guys had to cancel.
Yeah, we had to cancel.
It was probably Suki's fault.
Probably my fault. I was shooting a show or something like that. Sorry, Pia, my fault.
That's okay. We're here now, and I'm so happy.
But anyway, Pia, thank you so much for coming on. It's such a pleasure to have you, and you're just listen.
Alan,
your voice
wow.
it's insane. You're amazing. I know when American Idol, the shock of the world when you got voted off or you didn't move on. I know the judges weren't even happy. And it just let's go right to it. Let's talk about American Idol. And I watched you perform, and J-Lo, when she was to give you her critique, she could barely speak. You blew her away. That whole experience had to be phenomenal for you, right?
It was. I mean, it was a long time coming because I started auditioning when I was only 16 years old.
I was gonna say, was it 3 times or 4 times you auditioned?
It was 4 times,
right?
Because I always said 5th time was the charm for me. So I dealt with a lot of rejection, and each time I'd be down about it for a day or 2, and then I'm like, all right, what was their critique? What do I need to do to get better? And so I just kept working, and I took 1 year off, season 9. And then the judging panel changed, and my dad was like, I think Steven Tyler and J-Lo are going to like you. And it was in New Jersey. My dad took me to Jersey.
Rutherford, right?
Yeah. And I was the first audition of the day, and it was terrifying. And it ended up working out, it really did. It was a blur. I do wish I could have enjoyed the whole process more, but it was, it's so nerve-wracking and terrifying. And then social media was brought to the table that year. They started opening everything up to Twitter. And so it was, we were not only being judged by the panel, but by the public. And so it was definitely a whirlwind experience.
I can imagine. I can't even. I mean, I feel like sometimes, those shows, I mean, as quick as they launch you, they kind of forget, because there's so many people, there's so many seasons, and there's, not every season produces this superstar,
Totally. That is very true. Yeah.
So I always think there's so many talented singers, and the industry just, how did you keep the faith to keep churning it out and saying, you know what? I'm just going to keep going at it and going at my dreams?
Well, so I always say, and this is what's kept me really hopeful, is my faith and knowing God's timing and his path for me. And I always say rejection is God's protection.
Right.
So that I still have the desire to keep pushing and not getting jaded in this industry. I just released my album independently after having 2 major record deals, and not being able to put, when I came off of American Idol, I had the first record deal. I was signed to Interscope. I had a 7-album deal, and I didn't even release 1 album. I released 1 single.
Wow.
And the second single actually ended up going to Demi Lovato.
Demi Lovato. Yeah.
And so, it was
becoming a huge hit for her, by the way.
Hit. Oh my gosh. It just took her to the stratosphere. And, and that was her path and her journey. And, that was what was meant to be. And so I always say maybe I'm a really sensitive person. And so maybe I would have crumbled under that kind of pressure at the time, and I'm just really in a peaceful place now. So
now, Pia, from what I understand, sources tell me, I know Michael Orland was the musical director. Is it true? And this, comes from a good source. I just want to make sure it's true. Is he the guy who, because I know they have different pits, not the 3 judges who are at the intros. Was he one of the main guys that was responsible for getting you through? And he also said you may have been a little tough to work with at times. Was that also true? And what are your feelings on Michael Orland?
So I would never have imagined that he said I was tough to work with.
Well, hold that thought. Let me ask him.
I love you. Laughed so much. And so actually he was responsible. He discovered me and he put me through. I was a nervous wreck, though.
Love this girl so much.
Aw.
I am so in love with this girl. She is so talented, such a work ethic, which is why she still works in this business.
Well, that's what we're saying. It could have chewed you up and eat, and that whole machine could have just crumbled, but it didn't. It didn't, Michael.
Yes, and she's got such an amazing faith and really the work ethic and the beauty that is like takes your breath away when she walks in the room. Sorry. She has that. And no, I mean the easiest and most beautiful thing to work with. And we discovered in rehearsals like that she had this. I mean, look at this girl. Look at this.
I know.
Girl. And we just discovered that she had this like high belt thing that nobody else in that season of Idol or nobody else had done before. And I was like, what we have to show that. And then we were doing, what was the song we were doing that, honey? We were doing
I'll Stand By You.
Yeah, I'll Stand By You.
Yeah.
And we were like, wait, we need to put that in the song. And
it was all by myself. Remember, you had heard me
all by myself. Yeah.
You're like, we have to save that if you make it. And then you were like, we have to put an elevated, a high note in I'll Stand By You. And then it became this magical arrangement. I still go to Michael. I just bothered him this week with the show with Matteo Bocelli. Still, he is my person that I do all of my arrangements with, mostly all of my arrangements with.
Pia, can you give us 15, 20 seconds of All By Myself?
Oh my God. Can you give me the key?
Michael, give her the key. Give her the key, Michael.
Is that what you do it in?
Yeah, okay. I'm like, all by myself. Don't wanna be all by myself anymore.
Oh my gosh.
I mean,
yeah.
I would give her a phone book and tell her to sing me like that.
I love this show. I love how you guys are on the spot.
Oh, baby.
These are the best. I love these guys. I've been on their show and I love them.
By the way, I what just struck me when Michael was on, when I played the intro for him, it was you playing for her and she was singing.
Singing, yeah.
If I'm not mistaken. You guys were doing something together. It was a beautifully shot piece. And your intro video that I took.
Right. It was when we taped the thing at the record at the
Make You Feel My Love.
Yes.
Yes, to make you feel my love.
Yeah, that one.
I mean, Pia and I have done many covers together, and we did the one thing that I love that we did. So, I mean, she's toured, of course, with Andrea Bocelli so many times, but the last thing we did together for Bocelli literally was my favorite thing.
Me too.
Wow. She came to me, and what was the song we did? Because I have goosebumps right now because I heard her do it. I heard her do it, and I was like, she brought it to life. She brought it off the first of all, there's covers that we did on YouTube. First of all, for the Sam Smith song that you did for your grandfather. What was that?
Lay Me Down.
Lay Me
Lay
Down.
Me Down.
Please go, everybody who's watching this show, please go and see her cover of Lay Me Down. It makes me cry still, and I play it for people because they go, oh my God. I go, no, wait, you haven't heard anything yet. Wait. It goes bigger, it goes higher. And she has such control. It's like,
thank you.
It's just
you know what I love, Michael, and you, and also with David Foster, because I was looking at some videos of Pia and David. I love when you guys are playing. And listen, you and David Foster, you guys blow me away with your musical prowess. But I love when Pia's singing, and either you or David look at her, and I could see you guys getting those goosebumps as you play. Yeah. Watch this one real quick. I'll show you exactly what I mean. And if you don't get goosebumps from this, then you don't have a heartbeat. Suk, watch this right here.
Okay. Don't walk away from me now. I have nothing. Gonna make me lose one more time. I don't wanna hurt anymore. Stay in my arms if you're there.
Wow. He's in a trance listening to you.
He's smiling. He's like, holy cow, this is amazing.
It's just sincere and real. I mean, the girl is effortless. When the sound comes out like that, it just, you can't help but just be I mean, you're just in it with her, and like especially for me, like when I play for that, it's just like you're breathing with that. You're just like in that.
Yeah.
I just you're living it. I mean, like it's just the most beautiful freaking thing. It's just like
Pia Toscano, this is your life.
I have to say, Michael and Pisha, Catherine's mom, they were my coaches throughout American Idol, and I would look to Michael, and he was just such a safe place for me. And I always felt when he said something was good that I could believe him, because I was so insecure and so shy. And he was the one that got me to be more comfortable with my upper register. Actually, he was the one that really pushed me to get those notes out. And if it wasn't for him, I swear I wouldn't have made it on that show, because his arrangement of I'll Stand By You, that's why every major performance I have, I know he's the one that's going to take that song, that arrangement to a whole other level.
Yeah. Michael, I'd like to launch a little investigation. How did she come in not at least in the top 3 that season?
I do not get it.
Who even won? I don't even know.
I mean, what kind of elections were these, man?
Listen, we had great people that year. But why she got voted off that year, and I mean that early.
It was so competitive. Yeah.
I twirled in the curtains crying when Jennifer Hudson got voted off 7 from the end, season 3. I used to cry like a baby. In the heyday of Idol, which was the first 9 years. I mean, I loved everything. I worked the first 16 seasons. I loved every one of those kids, even when nobody was watching it at the end. But I have to tell you, when Pia Toscano got voted off, I was like, are you freaking kidding me? Are people that stupid? Or
crazy.
It was never a reason. We never knew why people voted for somebody. And, it was just, it didn't make sense. And then they'd say to Pia, like they would say to Pia, stop singing ballads every week. And then she sang an up tempo and she got voted off that week. It was just like, and she killed with.
Yeah. When I was
Oh, please.
Go.
Like she killed with that song and she got voted off. And I was like, what do you do? Like, and then here's the other thing. And we could never convince the contestants on that show. The judges are just saying things to the contestants because they are trying to look as, the contestants are being judged that 3 minutes they're up there, but America's are judging those judges while they're giving their critiques, and they're trying to look smart to America, and they're not. And so they say these things, and they were like trying to look good, and they would contradict themselves. Randy Jackson would say, change the song up, and then someone would change the songs up, but they go, why'd you change that up? You shouldn't change the song up. They had no idea what to say. So Pia should have said, I'm not singing an up tempo. I sing ballads like any kid. Ballads.
Nobody's business. That's my business.
She listened to the judges and the producers, and she sang an up tempo, and she went home. It's like it makes no sense. And she should have said, the producers and the judges made me sing an up tempo.
I see, right?
So funny, Michael.
But after I saw people like Jennifer Hudson go on and Chris Daughtry go on,
right?
I go, you know what? If these people have a work ethic and
they will find their way.
They will find their way. And there's still people from season 2, from season 1 that still have a career today. I don't care what they're doing. They still make a career in music and film and TV.
Yeah, that Kelly, what's her name? Clarkson. She's doing okay. That Kelly Clarkson chick.
But I'm
she's
just
doing
saying,
all
like,
right.
even if they didn't win, I'm saying the people that didn't win that still have careers.
Justin Guarini, Tamara Gray, I see them all the time,
Yeah, and they have
I always think about that boy, that little redhead guy that did country. I forgot his name, that ended up like making quite a name for himself. I forgot. Scott, you're the guy.
Oh,
wait.
He's doing great.
Yes.
Scotty won my season.
Scotty.
Yeah, Scotty and Laura.
Great.
And then Pete, and Simon Cowell used to say to the kids, so you shouldn't be friendly. It's a competition. They all loved each other. I mean,
literally, and most of us from my season live in Nashville now.
That's amazing.
So we're all on a group chat, and we're still really good friends, and we really support each other. you have to. You're in this thing together that nobody really understands. You know,
yeah.
it becomes like this family, and you have to like. There's so much room for all of us. Like I know we're competing on a show together, but I hate that sometimes, especially with women, we're pinned against each other, and like I don't understand why it's like that. I really don't have, especially anymore. I really don't have a competitive bone in my body anymore because I'm like, we could all thrive and work and together, and we don't have to be against.
Agreed.
You know,
Agreed.
Yeah.
So very
Michael,
true.
Everybody is unique. Everybody is unique.
Exactly.
And that's what we used to do. Like when we were coaching these kids, is like you can sing an Adele song, but you got to sing it your way. There's already an Adele. There's already
right.
You know, like that's why when we do it, like when she did that Adele, when Pia did that Adele cover, we don't want to do it like Adele. Otherwise, who wants to hear it? You know.
Wait, which Adele cover was it, Pia?
It was "Make You Feel My Love," the Bob Dylan.
Yeah,
which was a Bob Dylan cover to begin with, but you know, and like that's the mistake people make today. Even the kids on Idol, I don't watch it really. I haven't watched it, but like you know, I work with a lot of young kids, and like a kid will come to me and do a you know, a Billie Eilish song, and they sound like Billie Eilish, and I'm like, wait, but what?
Where are you in this?
Yeah, that's so anyway, but. Pia Toscano, let's keep talking.
Let's talk about Pia.
Listen, can we get 30 seconds of "Make You Feel My Love"? One of my favorites. One of my favorite songs.
When the rain, I think is it a little higher?
A little higher, Michael. Come on.
When the rain is blowing in your face, and the whole world is on your case, I could offer you a warm embrace. Make you feel my love.
Go to the B section for a minute.
Oh, crap. Okay. I know you haven't made your mind up, but I would never do you wrong. I've known it from the moment that we met. No doubt in my mind where you belong.
Wow, effortless.
It is.
Effortless.
Mike,
you are effortless. You are effortless.
Suk, we need Michael here with all our singers.
I know.
We need him in the corner to just. You know what I love, Michael? You always have the piano right under you, no matter what you're doing.
I'm not even playing it. Look,
I know. Goes to the supermarket. He's got the piano. I love him. I love it.
I just love how you guys, even though you're in Nashville and you're where you are, Michael, that he just goes like this, and you already know what that means. And
okay, so look at, she's so musical. Like I see now. What about that? Like I played a chord, and she was like, "No, it's higher." Okay.
Yeah.
How much do I love? Oh God.
Yes.
Was it right though? I think it was. I just sang it.
You were right. I think you were right.
Because
Michael,
feeling in my voice, you know.
Why are you letting her get all this action with David Foster, man? You gotta get out there with her. What's going on?
I gotta tell you, I just did a gig with David and Catherine the other night, and I did one in Vegas the other night 2 weeks ago with Catherine, although David, of course, tagged along. Listen, I believe I've lost a lot of gigs since Cat and Pia started working with David, but I couldn't be. Listen, he's one of my idols. I idolize that man not only as a musician but a songwriter and a producer. I mean, he's ridiculous, and I love that he loves Pia the way he does. It makes me so happy. It makes me so happy because he loves great singers more, you know, as much as he freaking Barbara Streisand and Celine Dion. And Pia Toscano and Catherine McPhee. I mean, like, hello, he appreciates great singers. He is in his corner. You know what I mean? Like, and I just love that. I love that so much.
Michael, listen, thank you for jumping on, man. I so appreciate
Michael, you're the best. Thank you.
And Scott and Suki, what a joy to see you guys. I had the greatest time on your show. And Pia Toscano, I love you so much.
Yeah, Michael, you got to come back, man. You got to come back.
Oh,
the Godfather.
Her father would be after me.
I love it. Michael, you got to come back. We got more Manilow to sing.
Oh, my God.
Oh, do it. Oh, do it.
Anytime. We can have
Thank
a
you, my man.
whole tune.
We love you, pal. Thank you so much.
Guys.
Bye, Michael.
My face hurts from smiling so much.
I need more Botox now. Thank you.
Happy Thanksgiving, bud.
Hey, to you guys too. I don't know.
We love you, pal. I got you.
What a sweet surprise. I love it.
I tell you, we had Michael on, man. It was great. It was great. We were singing everything. We were doing everything. Pia, but speaking of which, you mentioned, you were on Idol. It was 10 years ago, and this is your first album that you're putting out right now.
Fine.
What was the deal with that? Why so long? I know you touched on it, but give us a story on that one.
Well, so I had lost my record deal with Interscope, and then right after that, I went into a production deal, and that didn't quite pan out. They were trying to get me signed. It didn't really work out. Then, I've always been recording music. I did a show on Netflix called West Side, and got a record deal with Warner Brothers.
Okay.
Somehow that also didn't, like, the show didn't, it didn't do what they wanted it to do. And then Warner Brothers released us from our record deals. And they were going to give me the option to release a few songs, but it wasn't going to be with the support that I needed. And so I just felt like, just leave off on great terms with everybody. I still a beautiful opportunity. I worked with lots of amazing people that gave me great insight and but if honestly, I needed all those things to happen because I needed to fight for something and I needed to finally funnel this into music. And when good things just keep happening and happening, you don't really have anything to say. You don't really have any experiences. You need to go through roller coasters sometimes.
Yeah.
And, I'd gone through a divorce and lots of things that, I funneled into. It was very therapeutic for me to make this album because I had a lot of healing to do. And, music is just, it's therapy and it's an escape. And so, I worked with a lot of incredible people that helped shape and tell my story. And it's an empowering and anthemic record. And I feel like it is the soundtrack to the past couple of years of my life.
Yeah, and listen, as we're looking at the title, it's like, hey, I'm good.
I'm good. Like it.
I made it. My second. So I'm Good was my first single. It's what I decided to name the album because I felt like that was what it was. I'm okay. And my second single was called Walk Through the Fire. And and so that's about, sometimes you have to go through things, get burned,
get to the other side.
And just you come out of it,
By the way, I know Michael's gone.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to make you sing anymore. I have a couple more things I need to show Suki, but one of our viewers who's been waiting for you to come on said, can you please ask her to do a little of Walk Through the Fire?
Oh.
Is that a cappella? Can we do that a little bit?
I could,
just like 30 seconds.
I'm gonna walk through the fire. If I burn, then I burn. I'm giving into desire until I find what I'm worth.
Wow, Pia.
Jesus, Pia.
Gee whiz, you are amazing.
That was one of our viewers. Jeannie Clay was asking me if we have a great fan base. And listen, Suk, I got two more I need to run by you before Pia leaves. Because there's a song from the Lady Gaga song from her movie. What was the movie? I forgot already.
Star is Born.
Star is Born.
Yeah,
I'm thinking Chris Christopherson. I'm going back to those days. Always remember us this way. That I caught you do a piece. Here's a little bit of that one, Suk. Listen to this. And the funny thing is, I know I looked at some of the comments under the YouTube video, and people are like, man, she's doing this while she's sitting down, you know, belting this stuff out. Take a look at this one.
We don't know how to ride, damn we try. But all I really know is where I wanna go. The part of me that you never die. So when I'm all choked up but I can't find the words, and every time we say goodbye, baby, it hurts. When the sun goes down and the band won't play, I'll always remember us this way.
Man, wow.
I mean, I don't even know how you do that so effortlessly. Gee whiz. Like
All right,
Michael
Pia,
was saying, you're like in another octave. You're like in another range.
no,
You're in
it's
another
almost
place.
it's almost unfair, by the way. It's not even fair. All right, well, listen, I promised Pia when we spoke before the show started that I had a little quick quiz for you guys, Sue.
Okay.
Now, Pia, as we know, you know, she's inspired by people like Celine Dion and Whitney, Mariah Carey.
Yes, the greats.
All you gotta do, I don't know her. All you gotta do is read. So what I'm gonna do is I picked out 4 songs of lyrics, just, you know, quick lyrics, and you just have to tell me whether it's Celine, Whitney, or Mariah.
Okay.
Okay. And I won't sing them. I will vocalize them to you. So Pia, what we'll do is we'll see if Suki gets it first.
All right. Okay.
And then you help her along if she can't get it. You ready, Sue?
Okay, I'm ready.
So here's the first song. Let Leo help you there if he can while he's sitting on your lap. There's Leo. All right. So here's the first lyric, Sue. So tell me if it's Celine, Whitney, or Mariah.
Okay.
But you were history with the slamming of the door.
Oh,
and
Whitney.
I made myself
Whitney.
so strong again somehow. Suki, first of all, if you don't let me finish, I throw you right out of the game. That's number 1.
I said Whitney, but it's probably not.
Listen to it again. But you were history with the slamming of the door.
Mariah.
And I made myself so strong. Pia, help her out, would you?
Celine. But
Celine.
you're free with the slamming
of the door. Yes, I got it.
What's the song, Suk?
It's gonna come. When you touch me like this. Sorry, Pia, that you have to listen to me like
Oh, Jesus Louise. All right, here we go. There's only 3 more, real quick. Far across the distance and spaces between you, you have come to show you go on.
You know this, Sue.
Is it me or I thought it was up to you?
Me?
No, Suki first, because Pia's going to know these.
Oh, he is confident.
Far across the distance and spaces between us.
Mariah.
You have come to show.
I don't know.
I love
it. Okay, I told Pia you were good at this.
I was,
Pia,
but you're throwing me off.
Give it to her. Give it to her.
Far across the distance.
But oh my God, the Titanic song.
Yeah. Celine. When I laugh, I get all phlegmy and then I can't sing. That's what happens. I was telling a vocal student that today. I'm like, I can't laugh before I sing.
Your phlegmy is still better than us. Don't worry about it.
Yes, my wheezy is better.
All right, here you go, Suki. Here you go. I ain't gonna cry, and I won't beg you to stay. If you're determined to leave, boy, I will not stand
it's Whitney. That's
in
Whitney.
your way.
So, no? Yeah, I'm determined to leave, boy.
I ain't gonna cry.
I'm not standing. No, it's not Whitney. No, that's Whitney.
But you'll always be my baby.
Oh my God,
Mariah. Be a part of me. Pia, I apologize.
All right, I suck at it, Pia. Sorry.
Here's the last one.
All right.
Here's the last one, Suki. Ready?
Okay.
Whew. And if by chance that special place that you've been dreaming of, Suki, leads you to a lonely place,
And if by chance leads you
find
to
your
lonely-
strength in love.
Find your strength in love, Whitney.
Yeah.
What song? What song?
Oh, that's the one that her and her mother met on the stage. Yeah, the video where her and her mother stand.
And if
I
by
believe the
chance
children
that's
are
that-
our future.
Yeah.
Teach them well and let them lead the way. I'm like looking at the video. Yeah,
Show them all. Oh, that's a George Benson cover.
Greatest
by the
love
way.
of all, right?
That's
Greatest
George
love of
Benson
all.
also did it. Yeah.
Oh man, Pia, listen, thank you so much for hanging out.
I love you guys.
Thanks, Pia. I'm glad you had a good time.
Again, the album is called I'm Good, Pia Toscano. It's available everywhere, iTunes, anywhere you get your Apple Plus, anywhere you get your music. It's a great gift for the holidays. Last thing I wanted to ask you about was look at you just hanging out with J-Lo, being cool, the whole deal. You got to sing with her in Vegas a little bit, and you know, it's all a dream come true, I assume, Pia.
Oh, yeah. I'm very blessed. Thank you.
Dream come true. And finally, the last thing is don't forget to check her out in 1660 Vine, ladies and gentlemen.
Streamingmusicals.com and Broadway on Demand.
Broadway on Demand. P is all over the place, and deservedly so. She is just getting started, folks.
Thank you.
Pia, thank you so much.
Thank you. This is so fun.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm glad you had fun, and continued success to you. And come back again, okay?
I certainly will.
Bye, Pia.
Take
Thank
care.
you.
Bye, Pia. Bye-bye. Oh, man.
Well,
Suki, what happened to you?
Figuring out the songs. I was like,
What
what the hell?
I'm like, man,
Sue
Suk will get
working as
these.
sharp as it used to be, you know?
Suk will get these. I mean, I guess if I sing them to you, you'd get them easier.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
oh my God, what a show, Sue! Can you
All right,
imagine? We had
kid.
Michael Lauren playing. She was playing.
That was a great little surprise for her. She really loved that.
Listen, everybody, enjoy your Thanksgiving.
Be safe.
We love you guys.
We'll see you
be
next
back
week at some
next
point.
week. More great shows coming up, and I will leave you with a little more Pia. Suk, love you, babe. Mwah. See you guys later.
Rise up, I'll rise unafraid, I'll rise up, and I'll do it 1,000 times again. And I'll rise up, I'll rise like the waves, I'll rise up, in spite of the ache, I'll rise up, and I'll do it 1,000 times again. For you. swear